The Latin American community in particular keeps on coming out at the lower levels of educational achievement, questions around employment and income. So the questions of poverty, the questions of integration, and all that flows out of the higher educational achievements really do weigh heavily in the Latin American community in general. And relating that to politics too. I mean, a certain apathy and so on.
You know, I think that the challenges in the different diasporic communities that really reflect my background cut across every single tie that we heard tonight. And that's why I really appreciated the intercultural nature of the conversation this evening. At the end of the day, everybody just wants to belong. They want to feel like they're part of Canada's social fragment. And I think it's been through that kind of ethnic organizing that they create that belonging, that sense of community. But at the end of the day, they don't want to be siloed. They want to be part of Canada's multinational community.
In general, it's just the stereotypes. It is still a very big burden on us to get you are taking up the jobs, you are just coming here as refugees. In general, we don't get access to relevant jobs based on our previous background or previous experience. It's always, we are forced to come into entry levels with lower salaries.
I feel like I don't think that we have a really strong connection to local politics, and I feel like it's a two-way street, right? I feel like politicians really at heart are trying to figure out who will vote for them and who can be their base. And so once they figure out who the most viable option is, that's who they spend their time on. And I think that's one issue of politics that actually really is problematic. At the end of the day, they need to be seeking out those who are not part of their communities, bringing people into the conversations. But at the same time, I think that communities need not to be apathetic as well, and need to understand that though we face wicked challenges as a society, the only way we actually get beyond that is by leaning into it, by showing up at the town halls, by going to have conversations with our local MPs and MPPs, and really just not feeling like if politics doesn't work for us, we stay at home and we count ourselves out. It's quite the opposite.
Oftentimes, any diasporic community brings with them their political culture from back home. So if you're coming from places where the political system is just nominally democratic, but it's so corrupt and so on, you've just ingrained certain ways of what politics is. So it takes a lot of work to deprogram that.
No, I think sadly no. I am, again, proud Mexican, but I think we are very well known for our gastronomy and our cultural impact and artistic, and we are well known for those, but sadly not in the political schemes or any real influential positions.
So I actually work in democratic engagement myself, and I think that's been one of the major features of why I got into the work. At the end of the day, the more time we can actually spend building democratic infrastructure, asking people what matters to them, going to community events, being more curious about who we are, how we came here, and what our aspirations are, the stronger we actually are as all Canadians.
I am active with a nonprofit called Hispanotech. We support STEM educated professionals from Hispanic background, Latin American, including Brazilians. And we give them access to networking events, career fair events, a mentorship program, and all this are in support of making sure they understand how job hunt is done in Canada, how to write your resume better, how to interview better, so it's easier or a smoother transition into a relevant, dignifying job.
EDI, right, of equity, diversity, inclusion would go a long way in many areas, like in education. So finding more, helping promote and put in place programs that can really help with skills development, skills training, or integrating communities, especially this community, for example, more into educational programs so they can get the credentialing that is really useful and in demand.